My wife went on vacation with her lover while I was dying, so I quietly erased them both. If this story hits you even a little, drop a like and leave a comment. It really helps push the video out. And if you enjoy stories like this, hit that subscribe. There's more coming. Now let's begin. I heard her voice through the door this morning. Soft, hesitant. Please just let me see you. I didn't answer. Not out of anger. I've long since burned through that. I stayed quiet because silence speaks louder than any scream. 2 years ago, I was in the ICU, dying. A pulmonary embolism nearly took me out. They said I coded. Twice. I remember gasping under an oxygen mask, blinking through a blur of fluorescent lights and pain. The only thing I could manage to whisper was, "Where's my wife?" The nurse looked away. "She hasn't visited," she muttered. Later that night, I called her, barely able to hold the phone. She picked up. Waves crashing. Laughter. Music. Background noise that didn't match the ICU. "Don't worry," she said casually. "If it's serious, the doctors will call." Then she hung up. No follow-up. No call. No visit. Just silence. We'd been married for 6 years. We met in college, first-year lecture hall. She sat next to me by accident and never left. We built a life on instant noodles, dreams, and whispered plans after midnight. She cried when I proposed, even though the ring barely cost more than the pizza we were eating. She said I was her everything. But love starts as a promise, then becomes an excuse, then for some a tool. I got out of the hospital 3 weeks later. No beluns, no hugs, just a quiet rideshare driver and an apartment that still smelled like her perfume. She came back from Hawaii the next day. No epalayi, just a tan and a shrug. I didn't ask who he was. I already knew. Devin, my coworker, my friend. She didn't even try to hide it. I found their photos through a burner Instagram account. One she forgot was linked to my backup email. Balcony selfies, champagne toasts, matching towels. While I was flatlining, she was sunbathing. I wanted to scream, but rage is loud, and I had already wasted enough noise on someone who stopped listening. So I did what she never saw coming. I went quiet, and I began to plan. That night, while she slept beside me, same sheets, same apartment, like nothing happened. I stared at the ceiling, silent, still, and I began designing the rest of my life without her. Step 1, disappear in plain sight. I told her I needed time to heal emotionally. Started working late. Said I wasn't sleeping well. She barely noticed. She was too busy texting Devin. In reality, I was meeting with a lawyer who specialized in asset protection, a forensic accountant, a digital privacy consultant. I transferred funds into a web of trusts, cashed out stock options, and buried everything behind legal walls she couldn't touch. I created a shell company and bought a cabin in another state. I moved photos, videos, even memories, all to encrypted cloud storage. I was becoming a ghost with a pulse. Step 2, gather evidence. Every message, every phone call, every photo, every lie. I didn't need a spy. She was careless. Devin was arrogant. They said everything out loud. She once wrote him, "Once he's gone, we can finally be free." As if I hadn't already left her emotionally months ago. Another message read, "He's just so boring. I feel like I'm wasting my best years babysitting a sick man." That one cut, but not deep. Not anymore. Step 3, wait. 6 months passed. I let her think I was just trying to rebuild myself. Then came the moment I had counted on. She asked for money. She framed it gently at first. A new car. Maybe something more reliable. I said business was slow. "Sorry, babe. Not right now." Her warmth cooled. Soon came the emotional distance. The frustration. Then, finally, the words I'd been waiting for. Maybe this marriage just isn't working anymore. Perfect. She filed for divorce 3 weeks later. Didn't want to talk. Didn't even look surprised when I signed the first papers without protest. She thought she won. In court, she showed up radiant. Glossy lips, perfect curls, Devin waiting outside in a cheap suit. She expected victory. I arrived with 3 attorneys and a portfolio thick enough to break the judge's desk. Inside, proof of infidelity, asset documentation, timeline of abandonment, screen-captured messages, financial logs, photos, and a prenup clause triggered by betrayal. The judge barely blinked before deciding. She left the courthouse with nothing. No condo, no car, no spousal support, just her name on a piece of paper, and the quiet knowledge that she'd been played by the man she left to die. A week later, Devin lost his job. Company policy violation. An anonymous report had been submitted. Screenshots, photos, GPS logs. Turns out, Company-funded vacations don't cover romantic getaways with a coworker's wife. The board didn't like that. He tried to appeal. She tried to defend him. No one listened. No one cared. The company moved on. And I was already long gone. I now live in that cabin tucked away near the mountains. No address listed. No photos online. I work remotely, write code, sell security tools. Just enough to stay off the radar and perfectly content. No more noise. No more performance. Just peace. And every now and then, she tries. Letters started arriving 2 months later. Some typed, some handwritten. I was wrong. I didn't realize what I had. I miss you. Please talk to me. They're all unopened. I stacked them like receipts. Proof of what was. Proof of what won't ever be again. This morning, she came to my door. I heard her voice through the thick oak. Please, just let me see you. I didn't answer. Not because I hated her, but because I didn't. That's what makes it worse. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel heartbreak. I didn't feel anything. Just quiet. I watched from the upstairs window as she stood in the snow. No makeup. Hair messy. Her expression soft. Almost unfamiliar. Like the mask had finally slipped. She stood there for 5 minutes. Then turned. Walked away. And in that moment, I realized something. She wasn't seeing me now. She was finally seeing the man who walked out of that hospital bed. The one she never got to meet. They say revenge is best served cold. I disagree. Revenge is best served calculated. Patient. Clean. With no witnesses. No shouting. No guilt. Because the best revenge is building a life so far beyond what they imagined. They realized too late. They were never part of the real plan.